tearing out pieces of me to replace the broken pieces of you. Tearing out.
Hello, wealthy family, and welcome to today's video. Thank you for coming and sharing some time with me. I love and appreciate you all. Y'all, the sun is hitting me, so I look like Two-Face, so I apologize, but we're gonna rock with it. That's just the way it is, I guess. So today's video, we are going to talk about the importance of what you feed your mind, right? Image wise, right? Pictures. Because I know you've heard the saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And a lot of times when people want to implant something, they're like, let me see it, right? About 75% of people have some type of, they learn better when they see it, right? At least some way. Either see a physical picture of it, like what's the ending supposed to be, or let me see the instructions, let me read it. But they learn with some type of visual aspect. 75% of the people on this planet. Okay, that means 25% of people can just hear it or read it or whatever. They don't need a visual. Okay, but 75% of people do, of the population, okay, need to have some type of visual representation so they can learn something. So when you speak to people or you see people do certain things that have witnessed something, right? They're like, what have you seen? Right? Sometimes you have children that have seen trauma when they were really young, and although they may not remember it like right offhand, it's remembered somewhere. It's stored in the back of their mind and is held in their body as trauma. That's why sometimes they can see certain things and it will trigger, right? Or they're like, man, this child's like this because they had a trauma. They were so young, they didn't know how to express it, okay, because they saw that. So you know similar to when your children were younger and you all were watching a movie and you cover their eyes, right? Or something you see is considered a perversion to you and you look away, you're like, I can't see that, because you don't want it molded and burned into your mental memory, because it can be recalled like that. I told you your mind can't tell the difference between the present, the past, and the future. So if you're constantly seeing something or replaying something over and over again, it's as if you're living the moment in that moment. Okay, that's PTSD, right? So when you see these images on the news, when you see these images in your family, when you see things that constantly affirm your lower level energetic signature, when you constantly see these things and then you try to rise above, it's hard, it's difficult, it keeps you in a loop. That's why you have to limit certain things. That's why I told myself I'm not watching any more trauma, anything. And I mentioned this Monday during Monday's mindset. But the reason why these things are being pumped out continuously, why you hear people say psyops, right? And it can be a psyop and be real at the same time. Okay? Psyop is something that messes with you mentally and triggers certain things. You can use real people and real circumstances and experience to trigger that. As a matter of fact, it makes it all that more believable. That doesn't mean that the people or the things that are happening are not also pawns in the game, right? Because this is chess, not checkers. You would understand that saying of you're just a pawn in his or her game a little bit better if you knew how to play friggin' chess. So a lot of these things, and it's important to know chess, because chess, you can't play one move ahead. You got to be a couple steps ahead, right? You got to be able to see things and forecast, right? So I'm saying that because these things are happening to implant trauma in your mental memory, to keep triggering the eons, the age old eon residual trauma energy that you have in your body. They keep playing the same thing over and over and over, just in different dynamics. And when you watch it, it triggers that very old, familiar, closer part of you, right? Because not all your epigenetics, which is your DNA, not all of that is trauma filled, but it is the most recent where you can pull from. Okay, so you keep getting these things on the news and your social media and whatever, in your papers, which now spills over into society, which now dominates your coffee shops and your bookstores and your restaurants and your family gatherings, right? And it keeps reliving and replaying it and triggering and keeping you from the elevation that you're trying to get to. All because of these mental images. Like, I put the news on mute the other day because my husband likes to watch the news so he can know what's going on. Fine. I limit that. But I had it on mute. And it was because I was talking to something and it was too loud. But when I was done, I didn't take it back off mute and I was just looking at the images and I'm like, this shit is gruesome. If I did not have a mental fortitude like I did it many years ago, it would be hard to elevate above. Sometimes I still find myself kind of slipping into the oh no, right? So I say that to say this. The individuals that have assumed power or the most influence over this paradigm, this time frame that we're living in, are playing chess. And they are playing chess not for 10 years, 20 years, but they're playing chess for 50 years ahead, 60 years ahead, right? Because they study the stars and they know what's happening. That's how they can keep doing things in a loop, because things are a cycle. So they know how to play on certain things, and they understand that a lot of individuals are coming into a space where they're getting certain light codes that are triggering your DNA, right? That part of you that's a little further back past the trauma is triggering that and making you be like, something is amiss. I need to look deeper. They know that this time is happening, just like they know it's not climate change and global warming. It's just the precession of the equinox, as my husband, Lord knows, has been saying for years, decades. Okay? Everything is a cycle. The ice age was just winter, right? There's going to be another ice age. Okay? The golden age they talk about in the Bible is just springtime. It's going to go through it again, right? Just like the seasons, it's just happening in a span of many, many eons of years. Okay? So right now we're in the summer, right? That's why the sun is so fucking hot. Okay? It's just the way the earth is changing. It's just the way how it's spinning. There's nothing, I mean, we can help not make it be so horrible, right? And by not being filthy, disgusting human beings on this planet. But the people that have assumed power know this. And they know that things are enlightening because the sun gives you information. Okay? So they know that we're getting more of it. That's why they want you behind to stay inside and just be fed the dribble that they put out there instead of giving you any real substance. You know, I saw a thing on the news. People don't know how to change a tire, change the oil, mow the grass, change a diaper, and some other stuff. And I'm like, I learned that in home ec in middle school, but they took that out, right? They're not teaching you basic human functions. So I say all that to say this. Protect your mind. Protect your mental imagery. This year is a very spiritual lightning year. Bruh, it's 2/2/23. It's February 2nd, 2023. New Year's was just last week. Time is waiting for no one. You think you still got 24 hours in a day? You funny. Okay? So protect yourself. The precious time that you have here, use it to your advantage. Use it to your advantage. Use it so you can grow. Use it so you can be better, so you can be the best version of you ever. Cut out the worry and the fear and the despair and start filling your mental mind with things that you love. Watch HGTV, watch the Travel Channel, the Food Network, whatever. The things that interest you, start feeding yourself more of it so you can start experiencing it more. Okay? All right, that's it. I love you guys. I appreciate you all. Until we connect again, stay alert, stay aware, and live in love.